Hey guys, Level Cap here. Today we've got a mailbox episode. You guys ask me questions, I answer them. They could be about me, they could be about gaming, whatever you guys want to ask, as long as it's interesting and relevant, I will probably look at it and answer it in the next video. Today's first question comes from Cameron Dickinson. It's actually a question that I get asked a lot, especially while streaming. It says, why hasn't there been more group content on the channel? You used to team up with Matimio on a weekly basis. I know a lot of people enjoyed watching you guys play any games together. Thanks, keep up the good work, Level Cap. Yes, it's true. There has been a significant lack of team play stuff on my channel recently. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I enjoy playing games that some of the people that I used to play with don't enjoy playing anymore. So we're not really all playing the same games. We've all kind of taken different paths. But I am trying to set up some groups of people to play Battlefield with, and you can bet your butt as soon as Battlefield 5 comes out, I will have more weekly group-oriented content, and I'm really excited about that. The next question comes from Francisco Genua. He says, I'd like to know your honest opinion about Battlefield 1. Francisco then goes on to explain that he doesn't like the game because he felt that it was more of a cash grab and trying to appeal to the casual market more than the veteran market of gamers. My honest opinion about Battlefield 1. I still really enjoy playing Battlefield 1, but I have to play it in a very specific way to find the game enjoyable. Conquest is the one game mode in which I don't suffer from massive amounts of bad gameplay spam. So bomber spam, grenade spam, gas grenade spam, tank spam, any sort of airburst, mortar spam, whatever. There's tons of spam in this game, and it's most manageable in Conquest as players are not as focused together. And so I really enjoy playing Battlefield 1 in Conquest. It's come a long way since launch. That being said, I think it's one of the weaker Battlefield titles to have ever come out in terms of actual gameplay design. There's a lot of great graphics here. There's really cool weapon texturing and stuff like that. There's some neat improvements with UI elements and other things, but when it comes to gameplay, it's been one of the weakest. And I think that's honestly why a lot of the people I used to play Battlefield with have kind of dropped off and stopped playing the game, because it's all about the gameplay at the end of the day, right? You can have a great marketing campaign, awesome graphics, cool textures and whatnot, but if the gameplay isn't there, or if it doesn't remind you of what you loved about Battlefield in the first place, then people are going to drop off and stop playing it. And I think a lot of people did that. I probably, in all honesty, would have dropped off and stopped playing Battlefield 1 if it weren't for it being sort of a main facet of my YouTube channel. But because I sort of forced myself to continue playing it, I did learn how to play the game in a way that I found really enjoyable, which is Conquest. And I really enjoy sniping. I really enjoy the support class. I enjoy playing medic. I enjoy playing assault. It's got a lot of really good class balance elements in there. It's just that the gunplay and the spamminess of the gameplay is not ideal. And so that's my honest opinion about Battlefield 1. It's one of the weaker titles, and I think DICE recognizes all the ways they screwed it up, and Battlefield 5 seems like they're trying to remedy literally everything about Battlefield 1 that I didn't like. The next question comes from R. Ryan Roach, who says, when do you think VR, Oculus, or the Vive will be relevant and or a must-have for games like Battlefield, COD, Rainbow Six Siege, etc.? I think VR is either a long way off or it's never going to make it as a consumer-based product. There's so many things that have to change, in my opinion, for it to become competitive with modern console gaming and modern PC gaming that I think we're still a long ways off from. For example, we need it to be completely wireless. That should just be a given. It should be easy plug and play. I don't want to have to plug in like 10 different cables. They are working on all this tech, by the way. And it needs about 4 times, maybe even 8 times the resolution to give you a nice immersion factor there. You also need probably a little bit higher frame rate when you're looking around quickly. It can be a little disoriented. It also has to probably be lighter weight and breathe better. I don't want to feel like my head's getting hot when I have the VR headset on. I game sometimes in warm, even hot weather. A lot of people do. You don't want to think that, oh man, because it's 80 degrees in your house, that VR shouldn't be available to you because it's going to be too darn uncomfortable. Plus, the whole walking simulation thing still doesn't have a good solution. They've been trying to come up with Omni treadmills and Omni walker things so that you can walk on these sort of weird setups and it simulates it in virtual reality, but none of them are good or none of them are cheap and properly effective. And so that's still kind of a real immersion breaker there. I feel like for VR to be amazing, you need like the full haptic suit rig with feedback and gloves that can provide pressure and simulate textures and stuff like that. That's the point at which it'll become amazing, mind-blowing even. In its current state, it doesn't come anywhere near to that, and there's been no games that I've played that have really made me want to come back and play a lot more VR. They've all been sort of like fun little time wasters, and then I go back to normal PC or console gaming and have a lot more fun. I think what's far more likely to actually happen is probably laser tag style parks happening, where people go into a big warehouse, they put on wireless VR rigs, and then all of a sudden everybody's playing laser tag in some sort of crazy sci-fi environment or something like that, where you see the lasers and you see the other people you're fighting with and they're all dressed up in different characters and costumes. That could be really cool. But from the consumer standpoint, it's just not really doable. And in that kind of environment, you could also run around. So it would feel far more tangible. And they're starting to do this in certain areas. I know there's one, I think in Orange County or something like that, that I've been thinking about checking out. So they have these kind of things at amusement parks and areas, and I think they're going to become more common. But from the consumer aspect, I don't know if we're ever going to have a VR game that's as big as Battlefield or Rainbow Six or Call of Duty. The next question comes from Daniel Abbott, who says, do you think Hunt Showdown is the most underrated game this year? I think the Hunt Showdown is an awesome game. I wish it got more attention. I know why it doesn't get more attention though. I think they've developed a game with gameplay that is very hardcore, more camp intensive than even some of the more hardcore battle royales out there. And that only appeals to a very small niche market. I think visually and environmentally, it is one of the coolest games I've played. I love the atmosphere of the game. I love the sound effects of the game. I think they've incorporated AI and NPCs in a cool way to a battle royale style genre. Really cool game, really innovative in many ways. But I haven't played it for a while, so I don't know if they've changed any of the basic mechanics. But back when I played it, it had that problem of basically you could camp indefinitely in the game, and there was no tools to sort of locate campers. So whoever had the most time could basically win the game if you're willing to wait and hang out in some bushes forever till somebody finally peeked their head out of a barn and take them out. Like there was just issues with the game on that front, and that's what ultimately turned me off from the title, but I really did enjoy just about everything else about it. If the developers can change some of those basic mechanics that I think turn it off to the general crowd or maybe even the casual crowd, then they could get a bigger audience. But at the moment, I think it's just a little too hardcore to appeal to a wider fan base. The next question comes from Iftikhar, who says, I know you are a Battlefield main content creator, but if the upcoming World War III game is good, would you be featuring it regularly on your channel, like weapon reviews and stuff, as you did with Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4? Well, Battlefield is the main content that I focused on with my channel. If Battlefield starts to slip as a franchise and some other game really takes more of my attention, then that's what I'll focus on. When PUBG first came out and I started getting into it, there was a lot more PUBG content on my channel, more than there was Battlefield content, and that reflected what I was enjoying at the time. I've thus kind of become disinterested in PUBG as much, not playing it anywhere near as much as I used to, and so the gameplay is more Battlefield 1 because that's what I've been playing a lot more of lately. If World War III is a fantastic game, you can bet that I'll be playing that. It's positioned itself to try and take over the modern military shooter audience, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. All we've seen so far is a trailer. We really don't have much more information about the game, and so it could just be a cool looking trailer and absolute garbage gameplay. We don't know. I do, however, think that the new Insurgency game will take up quite a bit of my time when that comes out, so I'll probably be focusing on that for a while when the devs finally decide to launch it. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for today's Mailbox episode. Be sure to leave your questions down in the video comments, and I'll also be asking for some on Facebook as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing out.